Esports is the given name to professional competitive gaming. Competitors play against each other via video games, mostly in a knockout tournament setting, in order to come out on top, and is often awarded with $1,000 or $1 million prize awards. Esports is one of the most successful new forms of sport media to arise over the years, competing with traditional sport media, and is predicted by 2021 it will have more of a viewer base than every other professional sport league in the US besides the NFL. Esports started to gain steam due to live streaming sites such as Twitch. Twitch is the leading website when it comes to live streaming of video games, and is a serious competitor to other video streaming sites. With this in mind, it allowed esports organizers to host countless events without the need of utilizing traditional television contracts. As anything that is recognized at an international level, there is bound to be legal issues such as government restrictions and equal opportunity, and the esports industry has experienced its fair share of it. In this video, I want to bring up a question: should governments or political bodies support esports? First off, is esports even a sport? According to the Council of Europe's European Sports Charter, originally adopted in 1992 and revised in 2001, sport means all forms of physical activity which, through casual or organized participation, aim at expressing or improving physical fitness and mental well-being, forming social relationships, or obtaining results in competition at all levels. This definition is present in the European Commission White Paper. As esports lack physical activity, the primary competing aspects are digitalized and facilitated around electronic systems. But other government bodies, such as the German Olympic Sport Confederation, represents chess as one of their competing sports. So why is it so important for esports to be recognized as an official sport on the same lines of chess and football? It opens the path for an additional source of funding, particularly from the government. Great Britain is one example of the government funding sport athletes from tax money. In the 4 years prior to the Athens Olympic Games, the UK government invested €70.1 million to the Great Britain Olympic team. From this funding, Great Britain came with a haul of 30 medals, averaging out to be €2.3 million for each medal. When asked on why Great Britain invested so much money into their athletes, Director of Performance at UK Sport, Liz Nicole, stated, "I will say that between 5 and 9 million people watched Kelly Holmes win a gold medal, and why was there such a fantastic impact when we won the Ashes and the Rugby World Cup? It really does have a huge impact on people in this country in motivating them to participate in sport and compete in sport. And that is why we do it. We're like winners, and that is what we are investing in. And success comes at a price." And upon that quote, one statement strongly resonates with esports, and that is participate in sport and compete in sport. As the esports foundations are built off video games, there are already gaming companies that are pushing gamers into participating in esports, such as the Fortnite World Cup, where casual gamers can have a chance in competing for a $1 million prize award. As the esports industry has a total revenue of $1.1 billion from sponsorship, media rights and advertising, merchandise and game publisher fees, if esports were to gain government funding, it will allow esports to be more easily accepted, spring new jobs, and host more big events, increasing audience participation and tourism. An example of this is the very first esports stadium funded by Arlington government in Texas. Designed to be the largest esports stadium in the US, managed by Engage Esports, Arlington government will get 90% of proceeds from all events. A worthwhile investment for the Arlington government, as esports is on a revenue growth with no signs of depreciating over the upcoming years. Another aspect that esports has issues with are immigration restrictions, particularly in the US. Riot Games, the video game developer for one of the largest esports games, League of Legends, has petitioned and successfully lobbied at the United States and Immigration Service to recognize specifically League of Legends esports players as athletes, to allow them to obtain a P1A visa, which is only issued to athletes competing at an international level. As esports athletes who compete on an international level have a brand, team, contract, sponsors, and fans, the same as an athlete in the NFL does, if they were denied access to a country, it will be a detrimental loss for the athlete and organizations connected to them, potentially missing out on thousands of dollars. An example of this is on October 5th, 2015, professional Super Smash Bros. Melee player William Leffen Hajate had visa issues as his P1A visa request was denied and was deported back to Sweden. Due to Super Smash Bros. Not being considered a real sport, this sparked the hashtag #FreeLeffen movement, where thousands of esports fans lobbied against the USCIS through social media. This outcry led to the USCIS to look into the matter and issue Leffen the P1A visa within 6 months of his initial denial. But it is unfair to the USCIS to be targeted by the public and media when they do turn down an esports athlete's sporting visa. As video games are known to be used as leisure entertainment, it's a surprise when they can also birth millionaire athletes. It's difficult for government bodies to apply the same rules and regulations as traditional sports to this new medium, as esports is still jumping between fences of being recognized as a real sport or not, and governing bodies from all over the world have their own views on the matter. Esports has also sprung a digitalized gambling epidemic that could be the very reason that esports isn't getting as much support from the government. In particular, the US government are combating this new form of gambling that makes gambling legal for minors. Esports gambling is mostly done via the game Counter-Strike Global Offensive. CSGO has digitalized skins which can be attained by microtransactions and be sold on the Steam marketplace. These skins are the main currency in this esports betting and gambling culture, and it is these skins that leave a grey area for the authorities to not take legal action on this practice, as minors are betting with skins instead of real money. This gambling culture is detrimental for the progression and recognition of esports, as why would a government or political figure support an industry that supports gambling habits and minor participation? There has already been governing action from the US Senator Josh Hawley, who announced a bill that will ban microtransactions in-game. If this bill were to pass, it will eliminate the grey area that minors use for gambling and also clear the minor gambling taboo that esports is associated with. If governments were to support esports, it will benefit both parties, as esports is an industry that is growing in revenue and popularity over the years, and government bodies can use that as another source of income. But esports is also an industry that is making minor gambling legal, and this may cause governing bodies to become under fire from supporting this cause from the media. There is still a lot of adapting for both parties to do in order to receive beneficial support from each other.